Alright, I'm going to do a little walkthrough my home garage gym here and a review of some of my equipment. So, first off, I have the Powerline, I believe it's the PPR200, something like that. I got this off of Amazon and I've been real happy with it. It certainly feels sturdy enough for any of my applications, and was easy enough to assemble. Didn't really have any problems with it. Some other reviewers will point out that the paint comes off pretty easily, and it does. The paint really scratches off basically the first time you try to remove the skewer. It gets scratched by these holes, which aren't necessarily milled or sanded down smooth, so they kind of have some little raggedy edges a little bit. But honestly, that doesn't bother me. It does what I want it to do. It lets me lift heavy safely at home without a spotter. It gives me room to perform my lifts. I got the lat attachment here for it, and I've been real happy with that. The action seems very smooth. The cables are strong, and the pulleys seem to work right. I don't feel that cheap kind of friction that you feel with some cable systems for home use. So, pull-up bar here, it works. I wouldn't mind putting some flooring down and being able to mount my power rack to the floor, because especially for squats and heavy bench, when you do hit this back rack with the bar when you're about to re-rack it, the rack will kind of wobble a little bit. Not to where I feel unsafe. I've never felt unsafe inside it. Been real happy with it. If I had to purchase again, I would purchase the same rack, I think. I've got some bars and plate weights here. I've got my rings hanging off of the pull-up bar. I found I like to do deadlifts and some power lifts from the floor, and getting the bar in and out of the cage was just enough of a hassle that I decided to buy a second bar, which I just leave hanging off the front post there when I'm not using, but I can easily just grab it, put it on the floor, and get it out of my way, or use it. As you can see, I also modified my rack here to be able to hold my plate weights. This was a Home Depot modification. This right here is just a piece of 3/4 inch pipe nipple that slides perfectly through the holes here. I know that the holes are 1 inch, but 3/4 inch pipe fits through it perfectly. And then I have sort of a heftier modification for my bigger weights. It's a 3/4 inch pipe with a 1 inch adapter, and there's a 1 inch pipe under that, and I cut PVC to length, which slides right over the 1 inch pipe, and then put a little end cap there. Screwed it all together, and does the trick. Holds my weights, keeps them off the floor, and easy to access to load and unload the bar. And I stole that from I forget the website, somebody's website about home gyms and do-it-yourself sort of things. So I did not invent it, but I have been happy with it. And that is my power rack. Now I also have the Ironmaster adjustable dumbbells and the Ironmaster adjustable bench here. Now this bench is probably my favorite piece of equipment in my home gym, believe it or not. This thing is really nice. It's really strong. I believe it's the best adjustable bench on the market that you can get. It's heavy duty. The padding is nice and thick. You can see it's almost as thick as the full length of my finger here. And I don't ever get any marks in my back whenever I do heavy bench. It does not wiggle, even though it's adjustable. If you lift up and down on it, there's absolutely no movement to it whatsoever. It locks securely in place. It adjusts very easily to incline or decline, depending. So far, it's stood up and to all my punishment with virtually no signs of wear on the cushion here or on whatever type of material it is. I just can't say enough good things about the bench, the Ironmaster adjustable bench. Like I said, I think this is the best bench on the market. I've got my decline attachment here that sits in the bench, and then the seat here. So if you want to do incline, just set the level and then stick the seat in and you're good to go. It's very comfortable, very useful. This here is a used set of the older model of the Ironmaster adjustable dumbbells, which are great. I love them. These actually are a little bit different than the new ones. They go up to 80 pounds rather than, I think, 75 pounds. Without any add-ons. Of course, you can buy the add-ons. You can see that these are a little bit rusty from the previous owner, but I have started cleaning these up with some WD-40 and steel wool, and they clean up real nice, so I'm real happy with it. I just haven't quite gotten finished cleaning them all up yet. And you know, with this setup, adjustable dumbbells, adjustable bench, it's sturdy, I can lift heavy on it, and my power rack with the lat bar attachment, I really feel like there's nothing I can't do in my home gym. I never ever find myself wanting to be able to do an exercise and feeling like I wish I had a gym membership so that I could go do it because I can't do it at home. This really covers it all. It takes up half of my garage. You can see the other half is filled with junk still. But with just this setup here, I want for nothing. That is my tour of my home gym. And one thing I did want to say about this older model, if you see these for sale on Craigslist, you should know that there are a couple differences from the newer models. One is that these end plates here screw all the way on and off. They don't have the quick release sliding type mechanism that the new ones have. So if you they just spin like full screws. Now the other difference though is if you want to add or remove weight, that doesn't mean you have to screw them completely on and off, because these weights are slotted, as you can see, whereas the new ones have just a hole in the middle. Now I think I know why they changed the design, because one thing that I naturally assumed was that they would somehow have accounted for the fact that there's less weight on one side of this than the other side. And the truth is that they did not. So if you have many weights stacked up like this, the weight, the center of mass, is actually a little bit below the bar here, so that if you were to hold the barbell or the dumbbells like this, it would want to rotate clockwise. And well, I think that was a pretty obvious oversight on their part, and I was disappointed to find that you do feel a little bit of that torque in your wrist when you're working with these. However, there are a couple of workarounds. First of all, if you don't try to hold it sideways like that, but rather keep it basically vertically like that, then you don't feel that torque on your wrist at all, and the center of mass is in line with your wrist and your arm and everything. The other thing that you can do is actually, and this is what I plan on doing, is alternate the direction of the weights. So you can put some in face down like that and others face up. I tend to, when I'm not cleaning my handles, I tend to keep most of the weight on there for most of the time and only have adjusting a couple of plates at a time. So I think it would be effective to have the first 4 or 5 plates just alternate the direction, and then you can just stick the last couple plates on and off without worrying about which direction they are. And probably would not feel that torque at all. However, on the new plates, they have a hole in the middle, and I'm sure that that is not an issue at all. But if you're thinking about buying the older plates, that's just something to know that's different. It also has a different stand here. This stand I actually like better, and I like the fact that these are slotted and you can just access a plate very easily. The new one, they're stacked underneath, and it seems like it would be harder to get at the plates and get exactly the number of plates that you want. But I would say don't let a little bit of rust deter you. As you can see, there's a pretty big difference between the old plates here before I cleaned them and here after I just did a little WD-40 and steel wool work. So anyways, that concludes my review and tour of my home gym.